in ghosts,
Me
100%.
too.
Yeah.
I told this story a long time ago. But Doctor, you go first.
No, no, no. I was gonna say, and the army, like people based in like the mountain or like the desert at night, they see some shit. I'm just gonna say that.
Hmm.
So, Vlad, are you gonna say that story about the cleaner guy?
Which one? I've got a lot of ghost stories.
At the
Please,
The
please,
one
university
please.
about
Tell me more.
that you
Yeah.
Wait, but have you
oh
experienced something like there?
no,
Because I don't know why, but I think people in these countries, they say they don't believe in any of these things. They don't experience. I don't know. It's like so common for us.
I know quite a few ghost stories as well. Actually, these guys just reminded me of a ghost story that I told not so long ago. The university where I work, yeah.
Hmm.
Kind of fast. I'm going to make it nice and short because these guys have heard the story before.
Hmm.
About 5 months ago, 6 months ago, I don't know, lost track of time. Um, one of the cleaning staff killed himself. Yeah,
Hmm.
really nice bloke. He was incredibly friendly. He was very, very courteous, well-mannered, etc. We all remembered him because the guy was like very nice. So from one day to the next, the guy killed himself. They found him hanging from the rafters of his house. So now this is not the weird part. The thing is, that a lot of people. One day I was in the teachers' room, and you've got to consider the fact that we've got 5,600 students, so you have a lot of teachers in the teachers' room. And I was sitting there minding my own business when one of the teachers, and we're talking about an old man. I mean, I'm old, but this guy's older than I am. He came in. He was pale and he was sweating. Literally, you could literally say that he had just seen a ghost. He looked as if he had just seen a ghost. And then I kind of, started eavesdropping and I overheard the conversation. So basically, the university has 4 floors, 3 floors, and the guy was downstairs. He was making his way to one of his classes, and whilst he was making his way to one of his, well, to one of the classrooms, he said that he stopped and he started having a chat with one of the cleaning staff. So apparently, some gentleman, one of these gentlemen, had actually stopped him and said, "Hola, profe, how are you doing? How are things? I haven't seen you, in a long time." Blah blah blah. And apparently, they engaged in a conversation. They'd been talking for like about 10 or 15 minutes. And well, then after this guy continued, and then they went to class, and like in every single university, you have buzzers. I would imagine, yeah. And then the bell rang, and this guy made his way back up to the teacher's room, which is on the second floor. And whilst he was making his way up, he stopped, and the cleaning staff have like their own little room. It's like a little cubicle where they keep all their stuff, all their cleaning materials, etc. Yeah. And he stopped and he asked the head cleaner if he could something about. He wanted to make an inquiry about this nice gentleman. And well, she obviously told him to come inside, and they were sitting there. And all of a sudden, he just happened to look up, and on the wall there was a photograph of the gentleman, this gentleman, and then this teacher. And there's no reason why I should, there's no reason why I shouldn't believe him because, as I said, he's worked there for years. And he said to this lady, he said, "Oh, how's he doing? What did he win? Did he win some kind of an award?" And this woman said, "What do you mean?" He said, "No, the guy, the gentleman at the top. What's his name? Arturo." And then she said, "That's no, no. He passed away a couple of months ago. He under rather tragic circumstances." And this guy thought they were, he thought they were having him on. They thought it was some kind of a big joke. And then he thought, but
Hmm.
why would they have a photograph of this guy? So, in other words, fast forward long story again, it turned out that he'd been talking to somebody who died 3 months earlier. And where it gets even weirder is that none of the teachers actually wanted to work on a particular floor because a lot of people apparently have seen the guy. So it's like he goes to work every day, but he doesn't realize that he's dead.
Oh.
And
the
it
guy
got
wasn't
so
bothering
bad.
anyone. He was just chit
He
chatting,
was just
saying
doing his
hi.
job. Yeah, exactly. Uh, and get this, it got so bad. It got to a point where a lot of the teachers didn't want to teach on a certain floor, and they had to call in a priest. And well, the priest apparently, well, he went
Hmm.
around and started sprinkling holy water everywhere. And I know
Mhm.
that story is true because this guy is old. Number one, he's not the kind of person that would make up a bullshit story like that. It's like
Mhm.
professional suicide, basically, And he's not the only teacher that's seen this guy walking around.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's a creepy story,
I
and
actually believe it. I mean, yeah, it's scary a little bit, but at the same time, he's being nice. He's keep working. He's just trying to
Exactly.
have a chat with people.
Yeah,
Poor
yeah.
him. No one's gonna talk to him now. It's gonna be scare him. So like, what's wrong?
Angie,
He
that's the
doesn't know what's
scariest
going on.
part. That's the scariest part of that story is imagining you're dead and you're still showing up to work. That terrifies me. That's the
That's
scariest
No
part.
payment,
so
right?
Uh,
I
entitled.
no
Yeah.
payment for the eternity.
Yes.
No joke, guys. I remember during the first week of my residency as a student, me and my friend were like falling asleep at that point, and we were like, yeah, we cannot sleep right now. We think that we're not good enough. Blah blah blah. Let's go to the cafeteria and get like a cup of coffee. And me and her ordered the elevator, and wallahi, by the name of God and by the name of everything good, the the doors of the elevator opened, and then there was like this corpse like figure, like it looks like a person has a blanket over him, and it was floating, nothing underneath him. And me and my friends started screaming and running. And that one was one of the scariest shit I've ever seen. I can literally call that friend right now.
I believe you 100%. They say
Yeah.
that seeing is believing, but the truth is that I know they exist. I've had quite a few weird experiences as well.
Mm.
Like
Did
me
I
and
tell
my
you the
friend
one
was
of
like, yeah, please go.
No, no, no. Where are my manners? Go ahead. Forgive me.
Oh, I love you when you say that. You're so cute. So I was like, literally, me and my friend were trying to be like, was it like one of the older guys trying to like scare us? But there is nothing underneath it. It was like literally floating in the air. Like how was that even possible? That was it.
Yeah.
Go on, sir.
No, I imagine that people that work in hospitals have a lot of ghostly experiences. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
I've got another story, right? Another weird story, but Squirrel's heard this one before. This happened in
Mhm.
England. Yeah. Uh, did I tell you the one about my mum? That sounded like a bad joke. So there was kind of fast forward long story. My mum's lived in the UK for a long, long time. Yeah, a long time.
Mhm.
So this Chilean guy died. There aren't that many Chilenos in England. So we're talking about back in the 1980s. Yeah.
Mhm.
And okay, how do I explain a very long story? Make it as short as possible. Right. So anyway, a guy that lived in a tower block in a place called Sheffield had recently passed away. Yeah. And the guy he had been ostracized by the community because he was gay. Back in the 1970s, people weren't
Mhm.
as open as they are now, yeah?
Yeah.
So the guy had died of AIDS, and the thing is that a lot of the Chileans, they knew that the guy had AIDS and that he was gay, and in those days it was kind of a big, big taboo subject kind of thing, yeah?
Mhm.
So what happened is that because my mum's a devout Christian, she really is. I mean, goes to church every day, works in food kitchens, and et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, she's a real Christian. I'm a Christian of sorts. So what happened is that they contacted her. Her name's Lucia, and they said, Lucy, we've got the keys to this guy's flat, but nobody dares go in there because they think they're going to get AIDS. And my mum said, I'll go. So this guy lived, let's say, for example, on the 20th floor of a block of flats in Sheffield, which is obviously in South Yorkshire in England, yeah. And she went there with a guy called Vicente Alegria. So they plucked up the courage, and the idea was the following: they were going to go there with a couple of boxes, and they were going to pack his belongings, put them into this little box, and send them to his relatives in Chile because apparently his relatives are really poor. So my mum told me that she got, you know, I believe my mum. I mean, you know, there's no way that I would ever doubt what my mum says. You know, 100%. She never lies. So she said that she got there with this guy called Vicente, and they walked in there and they started packing this guy's things up, all of his books and photographs, etc., etc. Yeah, and kind of fast forward long story. Then um, she went into his bedroom and she started putting his photographs away. About 2 or 3 days later, Vicente started calling my mum because, they always, when it comes to these kind of matters, people kind of lean on those that are more spiritually minded, or better said, those that have more faith. So what happened is that a couple of days went by, and then Vicente started calling my mum non-stop. And then my mum was like, "What's up, Vicente?" She said, "Oh, Lucy, I have to talk to you." And she said, "Well, what's up?" Fast forward long story, he confessed. So he said, "Lucy, look, I stole some money. That day when you and I went to that guy's flat, I found a lot of money underneath, underneath the mattress." And she said, "Yeah." And she said, he said, "I stole the money and I spent it." And then my mum said, "Well, you shouldn't have done that. Obviously, that you already know that," and blah, 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 blah. But that's not where the story ends. That's actually where the story begins. So the only reason why this guy had actually confessed to stealing the money in the first place is because, according to this guy, who's a lawyer, he had like a reputable profession, a good job, etc., etc. He told my mum that the day after they had visited the flat, he woke up, you know, and he woke up in the middle of the night because he felt that he couldn't breathe. And the moment he woke up, he saw this man sitting on his chest, the guy that had died. So apparently the guy kept waking him up at 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever, and he'd find himself with this dead, this ghost literally on his chest. So it got to a point where the first couple of days I could imagine that, your logical side kind of kicks in, and he was probably trying to convince himself that it was just a figment of his imagination. But what happened is that as time went by, this guy realized that it was really happening. So he told my mum. And then he carried on seeing this ghost, and he was literally losing his mind. So my mum said that he had to go and see a priest, and they had to pray together, etc., and return the money. And get this, he returned the money. He got hold of the money somehow because obviously the guy was absolutely desperate. And they put the money and some of his belongings, and they sent the belongings and the money to his family in Chile. And after he did that, he never saw the ghost again. But even to this day, if you ask my mum or if you were to ask Vicente, they would tell you exactly the same story. And my mum, she's not exactly a believer in these kind of things, she said to me that she believes that this guy was telling the truth. That he was seeing something. Now, whether it was a figment of his imagination, that is open to interpretation. I mean, you decide. But I know my mum, she wouldn't lie about something like that.
Actually, there's an explanation in Islam.
Go ahead, I want to hear this.
Yeah, so Muslims believe in these creatures called jinn. Okay, we believe in humans, angels, and jinn. There's good jinn, and then there's bad jinn, that the ones that we call shayateen, or like the devils, but devils or jinn at the end of the day. And in a way, every one of us has a jinn linked to him. We have like a guardian angel, and then you have a jinn. A little bit of the yin and the yang. And if you die in a mysterious way, or like prematurely, or the jinn that is following you feels like, oh, you have been through injustice in a certain way, he's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna take revenge on those who actually hurt you. So it starts to haunt people. So if a person gets killed, his soul, or like not his actual soul, but his jinn, is gonna be pissed off and he's gonna haunt that place. Or in your example, he's gonna go and show up on his chest in the middle of the night, be like, "Pay up, bitch." Sorry. Oh yeah, that's
Uh,
how like
Yeah, you
Muslims
never
do
take
it.
the belongings of someone that's dead, that was died, because it carries energies with it, and that still belongs to that. Even like, especially in this case, right? This person died in not a very nice circumstances, especially was by himself basically, and then felt like stole, someone stealing him.
you've got to be a bit of a low life to steal from somebody who's dead. Yeah, I know. It's
Yeah.
like, come on.
Can you imagine like those people that steal things from the graves?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hey, when they leave it, the guy that works there has to pick it up. It's his job.
When they leave there?
If people
Squirrel.
leave stuff on the graves,
Squirrel works at a cemetery, mate. That's the part I didn't tell you.
someone's got to pick it up.
Oh, like so if someone leaves like flowers or some kind of trinket or something, you're saying someone has to pick it up?
You
It
probably do
depends
that,
what
don't
it
you?
is. I mean, I'm joking, but also serious.
Mm.
Yeah.
Flowers. I mean, there's policies.
Yeah, but like Squirrel,
Well,
you're not bastardizing that approach to say like, well, listen, someone has to dig them back up and take
Oh
those.
no, we don't do that. Yeah, we try not. We don't do that. Yeah, we
I know.
did once because the family realized they wanted the ring off the guy's finger a
Okay,
month
there you go.
later.
No
I think
way.
I think they should have told them no, but we
They
did it.
should have told them no. Yes, what's done is done. You don't dig someone back up. Yeah. Anyways, but I get it. Yeah.
I mean, that's why I like how Muslims bury other Muslims. It's a very tranquil way. We just wash them, give them a good bath, and
Mhm.
then put them in a white shroud and into the ground. Nothing. No clothes, no money, no jewelry, nothing.
Oh.
The way
Don't
you
you
came to the
put
earth,
in
you're
a?
gonna go back to the earth.
It's like it doesn't have like how to say a cabin
Coffin.
coffin.
A coffin?
That's it.
No. In a way,
And no
how can I
concrete
say
liner
this
either.
to you? It's just like this small room on the ground that you just put the person in. It's literally sand on the ground. Nothing fancy
Just
at
a
all.
hole. Just a hole in the ground.
Just
Just
Where
a
I
hole in the
work.
ground. Not a hole in the ground. It's above the ground, actually. We don't bury
Oh.
people. We put them on the ground.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never heard that. Yeah.
do the
But the
bodies
thing that
have
I
to
like
be?
is, and this is actually like a phrase that we have. We say we say that a shroud doesn't have any pockets. That's the thing that we always say in the Middle East, or Muslims say. Literally, you
We say you
cannot take
can't take
anything.
it with you.
You cannot take your clothes with you. You cannot take your ring with you, for example, like in that guy. You cannot nothing. You cannot take anything.
Because like, literally, you don't take anything with you. Like
Yeah.
you're dead. At the end of the day, you're dead. There's nothing with you
YOLO.
anymore. Yeah.
Does
No, I used to live in this. Well, we made it a house that was meant to be a hospital, a very private hospital. And the owner of the place was a doctor, but he had like something with my grandfather, like an agreement. So at the end, my grandfather ended up living there in that house, in that place, and we're not living there for years, like all my mom's, my uncle's life, and until I was probably 8 years old. And we all had experiences in that house. Like at some point, because the documents of legalization to open it as a clinic, they never gave it to them. This doctor used to have like practices on this in this place. He used to use it basically as abortion like for women. So the whole place was with this very negative energy. And that's what I'm saying, like when I remember when I was a child to hear children like literally playing on the second floor. And then all my family, like I said, every single one, we all had an experience, like even neighbors, people that came to visit. There's this one that when my mom went to this the main place where they were doing these malpractices, but years after, she fell asleep. Like she was going to do her homeworks and she ended up falling asleep, and she dreamed like they took her from her hair and dragged her around the floor. And when she woke up, she had like bruises or like scratches on her body. We never came back to that place by herself. We had to like constantly, time to time, always to purify the place, but it was really bad. Like I said, most people always had like a really bad experience.
Yeah, that's creepy. Hey, Christine, what about yourself? We're talking about experiences with supernatural spirits, ghosts. Anything on your end?
You mean like in a haunting kind of vibe?
No, just anything. Do you believe in ghosts in the first place, or spirits, or anything like that?
I believe in it enough to not mess with it. Let's put it that way.
Thank you, Christine. That was exactly what I said. Is that I'm not on team ghosts or spirits, but I'm like just in case it does exist, I'm not gonna be messing with any Ouija boards or any
But I
haunted
used
places.
to, when I was younger, as a teenager, we would for fun, because we were incredibly bored, and at the time, being on the computers and TikTok and all that wasn't a thing growing up. So like, okay, we're bored. What should we do now? And it's like, oh, I've heard that there's this building and people haven't been there for like over 20 years and just been left like that, and they haven't done anything. The government haven't even gotten rid of it. And then they would find other places, maybe 50 years. They would say like this. And then we went to these areas and you would always think, oh, is it haunted? Is it spooky? And then you got more scared of your friends than anything else. They're the one who are like trying to scare you. So I never actually experienced anything, knock on wood. Hopefully I didn't bring anything with me from there, but you would just see a lot of broken glass and teenagers who've been there and done spray painting on the walls and
It's
stuff
creepy
like
looking.
that.
It's just creepy looking, basically,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
But I never, it was only through my friends I experienced. And also some flashy light, and I would be terrified. When I saw some flashy light, I'm like, oh, are they like messing with the light? And then, I came to find out it was just, what is it called? They needed to change the light bulbs, basically.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't actually that I was haunted, but I was thinking, oh my god. So the fact that I could get creeped out that quickly, that a light is just like flickering, that will tell you a lot, that I didn't go far with it.
Sure.
But it's like
that reminds me, Christine. It was one of my proudest moments when I was younger. My sister had friends over and they're in the basement, and it was at nighttime, and one of her friends brought a Ouija board. And so I went to like where the main power panel was. It's still in the basement, but they didn't know I was downstairs. So like they're playing the Ouija board and they're like, oh my God, are you moving it? No, I thought you were moving it. And they're getting freaked out. And then I just turned off the power to like the whole house, or actually the whole basement, I should say. And then the screams, and then I turned the lights back on. They're like, okay, maybe it was just a power flicker. And then I started turning the lights on and off like repeatedly. I'm so proud of that moment. Like my sister still tells that story of how much that freaked them out. So I am evil.
Sir, you are evil, and honestly, that's such like a big brother move.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I didn't realize you were so nefarious, John.
Oh, I'm very nefarious. Yeah, 100%. especially with siblings, with my brother and sister. Like, but they're the same way with me. They do stuff as well. But yeah, no, it's I was I loved it. My sister and her friends, they were over one time. They were up at the cottage and they were still talking. Do you remember that time your brother was flicking the lights on and off when we were playing Ouija board? So, anyways.